I told the plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I told my plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I told the plug I need 100 pigs. Now my shoebox got 100 G. I told my plug I need 100 pigs.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and also streaming live on newhavenindependent.org and live video on Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com/New Haven Independent or just go to your Facebook page and look us up. How's everybody doing today? We got Nurse Kebra just walked in, and she actually is Nurse Kebra today, and it's very cool. And even as Nurse Kebra, she has a cool scarf on that just accessorizes perfectly with her uniform. I love it.
She looks awesome.
Yeah, you got to add. I don't see nurses who accessorize like that. That is awesome.
But yeah, Kebra just came right in from the office. No,
I love
that's
it.
right.
That is freaking awesome.
Happy Monday.
Oh yeah, did they? I left the house and they hadn't even gotten to the marijuana pills. Oh, they are. Oh, good. I wish we could get that and make, you know how they used to do Mystery Science? We could live stream it and do commentary on it as they're talking.
Well, let me tell you the highlights I've heard.
Yes.
Yes.
What about we legalize cannabis? Like, what? Just pulling anything out your butt.
Oh, my God.
And then, cannabis on silence or something. And that and Candelorio.
Grow right.
Said, grow right. Irrefutable research shows that the brain
Still, we're still talking about adults.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
Yeah.
And it's not true. It's not irrefutable. And is there any irrefutable damage from alcohol? Is there irrefutable? How about, you know, and that's one thing they never mention. And I wanted to bring this up to Dr. D'Souza. It's like, Dr. D'Souza, have you ever prescribed an opioid to anyone under 21, under 25? You going to tell me that doesn't mess with their brain chemistry?
Right.
Oh, right. They never mention that, though. No. Or alcohol. No.
And again, the bottom line is that the law.
Are we up? Are you up? I can't hardly hear you.
Yeah, I believe
Okay, we're good.
No, but the bottom line is that the law is.
Yep.
Yeah, now you see the difference.
It's based on racism and bias, and discriminatory practices are all attached to it. So the bottom line is that that law has to be changed. Period.
Yeah, completely.
Otherwise, you are supporting racism. You are supporting disparate practices.
Yeah.
You are like, this is what that's the bottom line.
That
so
is the
it's got to
bottom.
be changed, and then we can talk about all the other things. You're so worried about the kids. What about
But it's the
Nikan?
babies.
What about Nikan with
Oh,
the little cheerleading girls all over the
Oh
place
my
this
God.
weekend? I was like, oh, the baby.
I
Completely
could
integrated.
not. Who schedules the Heinz Center? I
know.
would love to know.
Yeah, they probably got an earful on Monday
From those
Oh,
mothers
this
and
morning.
everything. Oh yeah.
But it's a legal entity, you know what I mean? It's drawing business, and
Yeah.
realistically,
I mean-
the Heinz Center got more support this weekend from the cannabis community than they'll probably make off of any other.
Yeah, and so
organization.
what? Like, I mean,
I just thought
this
it was
whole,
funny.
Yeah, no, I thought it was hilarious too. But just the whole
Thing
nonsense,
with the kids.
you know,
I'm so
about the
tired
kids,
of it.
the children. If we were talking about something for children,
We
that
would
would be
make
a whole-
alcohol illegal. We
Yeah,
would make
exactly.
nicotine illegal for
Exactly.
everybody.
Exactly.
I mean, if you go with that mentality, then all those three things should be illegal for everybody.
Mhm.
Right.
Because that's why you're saying cannabis should be illegal. Cannabis should be illegal because it's bad for kids.
Mhm.
Well, then with that logic,
Mhm.
alcohol
Right.
should be illegal because it's bad for kids.
Mhm.
Correct.
Cigarettes should be illegal because it's bad for kids.
Mhm.
So let's make them all illegal then. All right, you want a level playing field? Let's
Mhm.
go. And they always
That's
say,
it.
well, we can't go backwards.
Why
My
not?
butt, you can't. They did it back in the 1920s. They
why
made
not?
it illegal.
Yep.
You
Why
could go
not?
backwards. So don't say that. It's their arguments don't hold water anymore.
Mm-mm.
And we were all at the hearing on Friday. For anybody who doesn't know, they held 2 simultaneous hearings.
Yeah, we just like jumped into it. But
Jumped
hey,
on
y'all.
ball.
How y'all doing?
I was moving between rooms so much that I didn't even get to testify. But the point was, they had Dr. D'Souza, they had and some Russian doctor who was sitting there with him.
Probably buying into the whole corporate
He was
Russian
from Curaleaf.
conspiracy.
He was probably from Curaleaf.
Yeah, that's Boris. What's his name, Boris?
Boris. And they took up 2.5 hours
Wow.
of testimony, and you could tell the Republicans were doing it on purpose.
Mhm.
It got to the point where they were repeating themselves,
Mhm.
and then towards the end, they were actually contradicting themselves.
Oh.
And some of the lawmakers went after him hardcore. I mean, I know in judicial, it was Blumenthal's son who went after him like really, really bad. He was going, now, doctor, you've been on here for 2.5 hours. So for the sake of time, let's just make these one-word answers, okay? And he goes, okay, what's more addicting, nicotine or cannabis? Nicotine. What's more addicting, alcohol or cannabis? Alcohol. What's more addicting, caffeine, and opioids or cannabis?
Mhm.
And he had no choice but to answer the truth,
Right.
Mhm.
which was all those things that were legal were all more addicting
Correct.
than cannabis and more harmful than cannabis, and the doctor had to admit that because it's the truth.
And even the young kids who came from Guilford High School.
Right.
I love the way Senator McCrory questioned them because nobody wants
Has
to challenge
anybody ever been
a bunch of little
arrested?
pretty
Yeah.
little, you
Right.
know, blonde hair, blue eyed girls from Guilford. You know, we don't want to challenge them. But I like the way he handled it. I'm just saying.
It's called like it is.
Lord Jesus, because God forbid I got up and said something, be like, that big black woman.
Oh,
no. But anyway, you know, I really like because there is a difference in what happens in Guilford and what happens in New Haven.
Yeah, big difference.
And you know, you're right. The kids in Guilford who are consuming cannabis probably will start consuming other things because that's just what was going to happen to
But
them
there's
because
also,
where they're at.
statistically, there's a higher rate of that going on in those communities.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, so to say cannabis is the reason that opioids are being, no. Your
Causation
community
and
already
correlation aren't the same thing.
Right.
And then the kids in New Haven, they're consuming cannabis potentially probably because they're dealing with so much stress and trauma and all these things.
100%.
It's a whole and they're the ones getting arrested.
Mm.
Yeah.
You're talking about what's going to happen in Guilford I mean, come on.
And that
it's
was
a whole
great.
nother guess what? Then don't allow cannabis in
Guilford. That's the simple
there we go.
solution.
That's the best solution.
We'll see how many of them beautiful little blonde hair, blue eyed girls make it down to New Haven to go get some.
Or they'll probably do it in Bramford. They'll be able to go to Bramford.
yeah.
Get it.
Right out of line.
I don't know about anybody else, but as I'm from New Haven as well now, move up and I see all them pretty little Guilford girls hanging around New Haven right now doing things that are way worse than cannabis.
Yeah. So
hanging
I
around
mean,
with the unscrupulous gentlemen.
it doesn't hold water anymore. It really doesn't.
Let me not get in trouble.
Right. And you know,
oh,
the
man.
blonde hair, blue eyed Association of Connecticcut.
Yeah.
Come
Hey,
after
now,
me.
hey, now. I used to be that.
You
Joe
was
has a
president?
beautiful head of hair.
I hate to tell you, when I had it, it was blonde.
It was the most beautiful blonde head of hair, wasn't it, Joe?
Yes.
Oh man! So thank you again to you guys Friday. I did not make it up to the Capitol. My family got sick this weekend, and I didn't make it anywhere. I didn't make it to NECAN. I didn't make it.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't
see
make
your
it
face.
anywhere. So we take care of our family, and we got to do what we got to do.
That's right.
But we're pretty excited. We're still going up. Kebra.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh yes,
Oh.
yeah. We didn't talk
But
about
we
that.
all
we
won
didn't
that.
even get there.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
But
Y'all
yeah,
we gotta have a
I gotta let 'em
conversation.
know. It's
First of all, I
awesome.
just want to say that after the public hearings, which were exhausting
God.
on so many levels, Joe and I and
Mhm.
Brian
Yeah,
There was
Brian.
drove up to
Boston.
Boston
Mhm.
from Hartford, and so we were pooped and at the end of our little energy sources by the time we got to Boston,
Yeah.
but it was such a nice party.
It was
Yes.
fun. It was a lot of fun. A lot of
Yeah.
people. It was just all the cool people in one place.
Yes. And then they were like doing the award ceremony and then having breaks in between.
In between, I
like,
don't know
at
why, so
6.
people could smoke.
Well,
Yeah,
everybody walked out,
somebody
Did somebody decide?
Went
Well,
out.
they was on a break, and then they decided the first award back they were going to announce was Connecticut.
Nice.
But guess who was still on her break? So Ellen calls me and she's like,
I texted her.
"Yeah, you text me." Ellen called me. She's like,
You
they just called your
won."
name. I was like, "What?" So then I run in heels
Up the
from
stairs.
down in the front, up the stairs to the stair. I'm huffing and puffing, sweating, hair, afro. And but I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Like, we all work together.
Mhm.
Everybody that was nominated from Connecticut, except for I think it was like one person I didn't know.
I know somebody
Yeah,
I
I
never
didn't know.
even heard of.
But everybody else, I'm sorry, a person I don't know, but I don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing, so I can't claim this for you. But but the people that I know, that all you great people, like we're sharing that award
100%.
because we all work together.
There were
to
some
get
great
this done.
people in there. So
yeah,
that entire list
that we
is
all
people
got
you'll see.
look, all three of us got nominated. So you know what?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
heck.
and plus
Absolutely.
awesome people that are there.
Other
Everybody-
people too,
Christina, as well,
Christina.
Seth,
Oh
all good
yes,
people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
That's
huge
what
shout
I'm
out to Christina as well. She's
Yes.
always up there, and she's pushing it. You can
Absolutely.
see her there everywhere, and
Yeah.
that's
It was nice. Though.
Yeah,
It was very
Ellen
nice.
got
got
recognized
an
as Cannabis
award.
Business
Laura.
of the Year, right?
Laura.
Laura was
Cannabis.
the
Laura got
company?
cannabis business. Ellen got
Ellen
like
got-
cannabis entrepreneur of the year or
no, it
something.
was
Right.
something business
It
because
was-
I just
Yeah.
looked at it.
yeah.
Let
And
me
then
look at it. I'll tell you what it
Lou
was.
got good best
Lou
podcast.
Pino,
oh my
right,
gosh,
from
yeah, he was
Connecticut.
sitting right next
Yeah.
to me.
Got best podcast, and let's see, Chanel.
Oh yes,
Yep.
No,
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 Shailene.
Shailene got
Shailene won.
Cannabis Activist of the Year.
Yep. A lot of good people were there. A lot of good people won. Phil Hardy won.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mass can.
So
for
Ellen
the
was New England Cannabis Business Leader of the Year.
business
As she
leader,
is.
and
She
then I guess
definitely
Healing
is.
Rose was just business.
Mhm.
Period.
Yes, the New England business there. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was nice. It was really nice, and I only went for one day.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, NECAN has grown.
It
Mhm.
has.
I
Yeah,
went
it
to the
was-
first ever NECAN.
Mhm.
It was in this little place called the Castle. There were
Mhm.
2 rows of vendors. We were one of them. We were at the school. We were one of
Mhm.
the first supporters of the NECAN. And it was in a small little place. It was one day, and it was just like to see it. I guess that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It was the entire the lower Heinz
Yeah.
Center, 2 separate rooms, completely filled.
Yeah.
Completely
And people were
filled.
just happy to be there.
It was fun.
It felt pretty good to be there.
And it's awesome to watch these events scale, and this at the rate they're scaling as well.
Yeah.
So now we see events from the small scale really blow up and become huge in almost no time.
He's nationwide now.
Yeah,
I mean, he
multiple
does
events.
those. I think he's got 9 different cities he does
Yeah.
it in.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that turned from that one event
Mm-hmm.
into that. So,
And
that-
that kind of leads into our caller today,
yeah,
too. Once
she
they
will,
do,
when
you know?
she calls in, we're going to talk about at least let's do that in Connecticut.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's the thing people have to understand about any business, any industry. It starts off small, but it can grow exponentially.
Right.
You just have to be patient. I know it's not, I'm preaching to the choir talking to you two about this, but there's a lot of sacrifice, a
Oh.
lot of
Mhm.
losses, not as many wins at first, but
Yeah.
our first cannabis conference, I believe, was extremely
Absolutely
successful.
amazing.
We
Yeah,
was at the
for the-
Omni. We had a
Yeah.
few hundred people.
It was
For
so
Connecticut?
It was
For
great. I
Connecticut,
thought it was
was
absolutely
great.
awesome.
as a start. So we hope this year will be
Even
twice
bigger.
the size.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
very excited about it.
And
this year.
it's true. one thing I did realize about Massachusetts from being up there is the amount of opportunity that is now open with legalization.
Right.
You know, the amount of dispensaries that are opening up. I spoke to a few of the dispensaries. There are actually a few that are owned by small entrepreneurs, businesses. They're mid-level and small-level licenses. They're people who live in Mass. They're not corporate. You know, and it was really nice to be able to talk to them, developing their own products, cool little things that they always wanted to sell. And they're able to do that in a rec market because they're not restricted by the medical, the restrictions that the medical program, first of all, puts on the products that you can sell. And the amounts, you know, all that stuff is not there with the rec. So I saw all kinds of cool products that are actually being sold at dispensaries, like medicated peanut butter. You know, all kinds of cool medicated things, medicated like chocolate dipped straws, and you know, all kinds. You could tell the people who created them like really put some thought into it. They weren't corporate kind of products, you know what I mean, that we're used to. So it was really nice. I thought NECAN was good, and you know, I listened to a few of the talks. They were real nice. I don't know about you, Kebra, but I'm sure you had a good time too. You had a nice talk. Yeah,
I did. It was great.
So we haven't heard anything on Facebook or anybody texted whether a vote came through yet today. But for those of you who don't know, today is a very, very important day with the Connecticut legislature and legalization. They are voting in the General Law Committee whether to pass the bill through to the floor. This is the first hurdle. This is the same hurdle we cleared last year. Was it the same committee? I believe it was.
I don't remember.
I believe it was the same committee who passed it. And so we're hoping to get the same result this year. And then obviously our next battle is to take it to the floor and make sure that the language that is in the bill that finally comes to be voted on is the language that we want in the bill. And there was quite a few things that were brought up on Friday. I'm sure Kebra could, you know, what were the main questions that the legislators were asking you about? About equity and stuff? Where do you feel like the disconnect with these guys are? Because there's an obvious disconnect between our idea of equity and their idea of equity. And they don't seem to understand that equity is not just letting a few misdemeanors off the hook, clearing a few records of a few misdemeanor offenders. That's not equity. You know, they did say there would be a 3-tiered system, but you can't allow equity applicants to just apply 3 months, give them a 3-month advance window, but yet let the corporate people come in at the same time. If it's a 3-month advance window, then it's a 3-month advance window.
3 months isn't
period.
enough
It should be
anyway.
6. It should be 6.
It should be probably a couple of years. That's
well,
what
the corporate
I think.
people already have the leg up. It's true. And you know, there's just certain things in the bill that you almost seem like they're tricky. Do you know what I mean? Especially the judicial bill, the way they changed the penalties, you know, now that it's legal. It just seemed tricky. Like they almost did it on purpose, you know.
And remember, I think when Shalene was speaking at the forum, like they'll take a simple thing from shall and make it, like take the word, you know, this shall happen and make it may happen.
Okay.
And then it screws us all the way up because now they have an option as to whether. So we have to just make sure the verbiage
it's
is
really
right.
small things too that they do.
Yeah, and they ask specific questions like what would an equity applicant look like? How do we protect equity applicants from predatory lending or predatory companies who would come just to buy their license.
Buy their license, right?
Really cheap because they know
that
they can
happened
make
in
millions.
Massachusetts.
Right.
Oh yeah,
exactly. So I liked D'Agostino's line of questioning. I felt like he was being pretty thoughtful about how to lay this all out. But the whole part about, and then jump over to judiciary. The whole part about 1.5 ounces.
Yeah,
that's not. If you can make $1 million selling 100 pounds of cannabis, or several $1 million selling 100 pounds of cannabis, then the dude on the street who probably barely made enough money to, support his family should be able to be excused from that as well.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's just, yeah, there's so many things about it that need to be fixed. I guess in principle it's good because they want to legalize marijuana, but the fact that there's no grow rights in there and they want to do a study on it. What is the study? What's a study? What are they going to study?
I don't know.
They're
They're wasting time and energy on the dumbest things. Even the prohibitionists are wasting your time. Keep talking about what about the kids? What about come up with a plan? We'd love to include that
what's
in the
your
bill.
legalization plan?
Come up with an idea for how we're gonna keep the kids safe. Come up with a prevention program.
Right. You want
let's work
iron
together
walls?
on
What
it.
do you want around the dispensaries? Iron walls?
No,
what do you
forget
want?
that.
I mean, come on.
Forget that. That's not happening.
That's what I'm saying.
And they're just no. I know you are, but they do want that. Like someone has said at a forum I was at. Well, you shouldn't allow dispensaries near protected entities like churches and schools, and I'm like, but why?
Why?
Right.
Why? There are pharmacies selling killer narcotics right next to a church
Liquor
or a
stores
school.
right
Liquor
there.
stores right there.
Yeah,
What
but
is the problem? Now, I do agree with the mindset of oversaturation that people maybe have in their mind, but that's also because of a lack of knowledge. Because this is plant-based medicine.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we want this in our community.
Yeah.
We don't want pharmaceuticals
Yep.
in our community. We don't want alcohol in our communities.
Right.
That's what's killing the community.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. We should have less alcohol and more cannabis.
Exactly.
But I mean, at least they don't even get the concept that they're the ones who are in control of how many licenses get given out anyway.
Well, let's look at how many CVSs are going to start selling Curaleaf.
Oh,
products.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I
my
wanted to
God.
bring that up
You
today.
know,
I had
and-
that written down.
And that's
Is Eve
that's,
on the phone now?
Yeah, what
she-
happened to our caller?
She dropped down, I guess. But
Damn.
she's probably called back.
Tell
in
her
there.
to call back.
So what CVS is going to be selling is tinctures, patches,
Topicals.
and topicals. So those are the three things, and gummies. So they're going to be small cubes.
But now, from what I was reading, they weren't going to mess with edibles until the FDA cleared up their position.
So
D'Agostino's talking. We
I
should have
got-
been definitely live
live streaming this
and providing commentary.
We should have. I wish we had the technology to do that.
Yes.
We will build it. They will come.
You
Oh,
could
oh,
do
look
that.
at
Harry
Harry's
says
face.
we could.
Harry's face.
But
he
we
says
need to
we're
get
in
him the
there.
link to where it is.
I can get you the link.
Oh man, we're about to live stream. What is it? CNET,
CTN?
CTN. Oh man.
You can make commentary on it.
We're
So
gonna
anyway,
let
back
them
to
know.
CBS.
But
Our
yeah,
8 states, right?
so they're gonna do all the legal states.
Right.
So every place CVS is cannabis is legal, they're gonna do. They're also doing Connecticut. So Curaleaf
I
is.
thought Connecticut wasn't on the list.
Oh man, bro.
It's on the list?
Even if their list is all 50 states,
Yes, of course,
and
eventually.
they're gonna roll it out.
Right now it's just
And
8.
it's interesting. It's really interesting to see what they're going to be doing. But the products are coming from Maine,
the Curaleaf in Maine.
right? So they are industrial hemp products.
Oh, so they're not. Okay.
So it's industrial hemp CBD, and they have the topical patches. They have the whole thing. So they're going to be 3-packs, 12-packs, and singles.
I know. I was trying to find images, but I couldn't anywhere. I was looking up it last night. Very, very interesting. But didn't I predict this? That you would be finding it in Walgreens and CVS before too long, as soon as hemp became legal, and that big companies would do it.
So now here is this is free information to anybody out there, which means Curaleaf probably, I don't know. This is just speculation on how normal contracts might work. Curaleaf Hemp got a contract with CVS, which means CVS probably put a no-compete clause in there,
Mm-hmm.
which means
Oh, yeah, they won't. Yeah,
they don't want that brand being sold at another store
this is true.
because they do that with other medicines as well,
Mhm.
over-the-counter supplements, because they usually offer those deals. Find the price better. Any
Yeah,
place
there's one
else will
certain
beat
brand
it.
that's in Walgreens. A different
Right.
brand is in, like, of the vitamins.
Right.
They seem to have one Nature's Made, and then somebody
Yes.
else. CVS has a different brand.
Correct.
That would be it. So the exclusive to CVS. So that means Walgreens could sign a deal with somebody else.
With Joe Schmo Coffee.
Right. Well, they'll
You
be
know what I
signing
mean?
it with big time,
But
Mr.
that's ultimately so
Tincture.
AGL or
Yeah.
GTI. GTI now comes out with one of their hemp brands that they
Oh, it
bought
could be
up.
anybody. Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do. Instead of going to CVS, they're going to go, okay, well, Walgreens, CVS is doing it. You should do it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, then Walmart's going to come out with Walmart brand because they have their own brand.
Uh-huh.
They'll come up with their own brand of anything.
It's the way it's headed.
We joke about it, but Lowe's and Home Depot and all the other big box stores are selling. Fox Farm are selling. Like, you can go online and buy presses from Walmart, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So I mean, it's coming.
it's big
into
business. It's
It is.
huge business, and you know, imagine walking into Lowe's and picking up your Pro Mix. You can go to Home Depot's and pick your Pro Mix up.
You can go
You
to Home
know.
Depot and get your lights
Yeah.
if you need them. You can get your buckets.
Mhm.
You can pretty much get your entire grow at Home Depot, except for the right nutrients. Probably you can get the
'cause
soil there.
They don't have specialized nutrients there, but the soil, yeah, you'll get your
And
HB
soil,
Pro Mix.
Right, you get your
Yeah.
soil. You can get the buckets. You get
You
the
can get
lights.
everything. You can get an
there.
entire hydro system.
And I guarantee you, before too long, they're going to have a hydroponic growing department.
I bet you they will.
This is another prediction. Hydroponic growing departments at Home Depot and
Mhm.
Lowe's, guaranteed, coming soon, and Walmart.
Watch yourself. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can go online and get a nice hydro system from Walmart
Oh yeah.
and have it as
It's just
online,
not at the stores
not
yet.
at the stores. But yeah.
Is our caller in yet?
No, we're not.
I
So
swear I don't want to talk about this. I want to hear what they're saying.
I
swear
know.
want to.
Keep
Can we
it
put
in.
it on?
Can we get in there?
Well, that kills us, though, right? You won't be able to see us.
Yeah.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right. All right, let's do it. First time ever, live stream with commentary.
Yeah. Wait till you hear this. This is shiggity. What is this?
So, and another thing, while we're waiting on our people to vote here, they have till 4:00, incidentally. So
4
they
o'clock.
may stretch it out. Yeah, right now they're just chatting, right, discussing, and then they're going to call it to a vote. Yeah, and then they call an initial vote, and then some people you'll see will abstain from voting right away
Mm-hmm.
and wait and not put their vote in until the end. They have till 4. So while they're doing this up there, oh, here they come. Where are they? Are they up on the air?
Make this legal. To teach our youth what the effects are if you do smoke. Teach our youth what the effects are if you do smoke marijuana. You know, I know what it could do to you. A lot of our youth smoke. You know, I know. I think
We got
have a lot of
double
our youth
vision
smoke
here.
Before the state, I think we have a lot more work to do before the state is going down this course. So, just wanted to add my 2 cents. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And that was all. It was probably about 2 cents.
Representative, any other questions or comments?
Just very briefly, thank you very much for the second time.
Oh,
Mr.
good, it's
Chairman.
on.
Oh, Jesus. Her
I
again.
can't know what it's like to be
What happened to her face anyway?
you, Representative Candelaria, or Senator McCrory. I
You
can
want me to
only
do commentary or
imagine
not?
the pain of decades of unfair justice. Decades, as I said, of seeing your children, your families torn apart. But I don't think this is the way to fix it. I accept the expungement of the records. I suppose
you'll
my
accept that?
question to all of us is this the best we can do? Is this
Ooh,
the
we got
best
her
we
double
can
now.
offer our
Yes.
communities that have been so
Yeah,
affected?
that's
Yes.
about it,
Yeah.
homie.
Why aren't we
Unless you're going to write them a
asking
check.
more
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
from
we'll
our
take
You can
major
always write a
donors
check.
when we're
How
giving
much is
out
40
hundreds
acres
of
and a mule
millions
go
of
for
dollars
nowadays?
in bonds?
That's right. That's what I want.
They might just really give you a meal, though.
I
Be
think
I'll
careful.
take a mule.
see us
Wepa.
create
Ride 'em
more
around New Haven.
a justifiable wrong.
Okay.
Let's fix that wrong. But please, let's do it in a way that doesn't destroy more lives. Thank you for your
Who's
indulgence,
gonna get
Mr. Chairman.
destroyed?
Well,
I'm
Yeah.
so sick of them
Thank you.
using these
Yeah.
words.
Any further
And,
comments?
and the
from
idea is that we
Senator?
need to be able to
Senator?
have ownership.
Thank you, Mr.
Mhm.
Chairman.
You know, we can't just
Uh-oh.
come.
I want to thank you for the enormous
Oh, this
amount
is
of
from Farah. He
effort
gonna
and
say something
time that
great.
you put into getting this bill where it is today. And for all those who spoke, Representative Candelaria, Senator McCrory.
See, this is very important to us,
Others,
guys. So if you're listening in and you hear these comments from the
Yeah.
Very
Capitol,
moving in terms of articulating points.
this has become what's
that
our
only
livlood
folks
ultimately,
who
how we
Oh,
want.
look at this. He's putting us right above them.
Oh,
Ellen.
look at that. This is why Harry is the great, not just the brave, but the great. So you can follow us on Facebook on the New Haven Independent
I look
site.
forward to working with you.
Oh, one thing I did
Senator,
want to
as we
mention,
move this bill, and I hope it will be moving
New
beyond
Jersey's
this
doing the
committee,
same thing right now.
and we
Yeah,
join
so
the
it's
three
not like this
committees,
is the only
Judiciary,
state that's
Finance,
doing it. So as
and General
Connecticut
Law
fights
and the
its fight,
Finance Committee, it is my hope
New
that we
Jersey's
will be
fighting
able
its
to
fight,
direct
Rhode Island is
funds
fighting its
that
fight.
we receive
So
from
these are
tax
all
revenue
states
into
that are looking to
communities that
push it
have been
legislatively
devastated
versus
for
through
decades, as
the ballot
has been
initiative
said here
similar to
many times.
Massachusetts.
I see what you've
Let's
done
hear what he
here,
has to say.
Mr. Chairman, in terms of equity.
Mm.
I replace that word with opportunity, and that's how I
I'm
view
far
it,
about to preach.
and that's why I can support it so strongly.
We need more equity, though.
I'm going to give some perspective if I can.
Okay.
I came down the stairs this morning from my office on the 3rd floor to see you, Mr. Chairman, surrounded by people with interest in the work of this committee today. I saw this committee hearing room filled with people at the time interested in either maintaining what they had or getting more of what they would like.
Oh, who's he talking about?
Many are gone now, but they were here with great interest. And there were a number of conversations about that legislation and those pieces of legislation and what would or would not happen to those people.
So to all you guys who did go up there and fought, and I know,
a lot of interest.
Thank you very
And that
much.
interest
You were
will
saw.
be
You were
maintained
seen.
long after we're done with our work here today. There's been discussion regarding action, in fact, on opioid abuse. I looked online to see an article from 2018 that the U.S. government will spend $4.6 billion to fight the opioid crisis. That was last year, $4.6 billion.
Wow.
But we have an opportunity to address the wrong, and I don't stop at the war on drugs or the war on weed. There has been a disinvestment in communities in this country based on race, based on economics, saying where you can live and where you can't, based on where your children can be educated.
That's a big one, especially here in Connecticut.
In no way a panacea in addressing those wrongs.
Not at all.
But we seem to find the time and the effort to weave our way through so that people in other industries are either protected or get an opportunity. But somehow that drops off the table when it comes to communities that are black and brown.
Mm-hmm.
We wonder how could we make sure that big industry doesn't take control of this industry. But somehow we've been able to maintain that. We have a state that has more liquor stores per mile than anywhere else in the country, and that is not going to be threatened. We've all said we want to make sure we protect the mom and pop industry here in Connecticut.
Yes.
But somehow we don't envision the mom and pop industry in communities that have been without, that have been denied, that have been intentionally told where to live, how their children will be educated, and in fact, whether or not they are on this side of the law or not. When you don't have, you seek ways to have. And Representative Candelora, I'm so proud of what you said today in articulating exactly what communities of color and people, young people in particular, who face with minimal or no options. Why wouldn't someone pursue taking care of their family, taking care of themselves by selling a bag of weed or whatever? That which more often than not is bought by someone who lives in another community that has plenty of opportunity.
You want to keep it 100.
So we'll legalize marijuana. And so that person who's been buying in the suburbs for years will now be able to do it legally, but will continue to shut the door on those that he was buying it from.
That's right. Gives them an opportunity for ownership.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the work you've done in bringing this bill. I know much more work will be done going forward. We can
give that assurance to Representative Gibson and Senator McCrory and others who feel that greater work needs to be done here. It's a start, but it's a damn good start. And I look forward to voting yes on this bill here today. Thank
All
you, Mr.
right.
Chairman.
Yeah.
There's a yes
Fun
vote.
fire.
Yeah. Let's call the
Roll
vote.
call vote.
I would love to have
That's
the vote
Hartford.
live.
That's Hartford's representative,
Yes.
state state senator.
Are they ready to vote?
Agostino? Yes. Whitcomb? Cheeseman? No. Leone? Gibson? Yes. Bradley? McCrory? Ali Brennan?
Yes.
Altabello?
Yes.
Arconti?
Yes.
Candelaria?
Yes.
Luxembourg?
Yes.
Orange? Kissel?
No.
Acker?
No.
Laura?
No.
D'Amelio?
No.
Giuliano?
No.
What's the vote? What's the
Again,
tally?
votes will be open till 4. This is our last meeting, our JFS deadline. So while we're not adjourning, I do want to thank all the committee members for
Well, we
again,
came in
working
right
so
at the
hard
right
in
time.
bipartisan effort, and our staff as well, who put in a lot of
So
time
who
and training
counted?
over this past weekend.
Wow.
I'd like
I
to
lost
add,
count.
folks who were here this weekend working on getting these bills out ready for today. They were all terrific.
Some people
Really
abstained.
appreciate working
Yeah.
with them.
McCrory.
With you, Senator,
I text
and our rankings as well.
You texted him?
Rankings as well. It's a
Can't
pleasure
say
to
all
work
that
with you
stuff
and
on the
look forward to
radio.
working with you on these bills on the House floor. Thank you all. Votes will be open till 4.
That's why they opened it till 4, because he can put it in and not. I don't know why McCrory did not vote.
He doesn't feel like it's enough. But
He didn't vote yes or no. He abstained.
probably, I'm assuming, because he said several times he wasn't going to vote for any bill that didn't have the right amount of.
All right. Well, there
can
it
we
is, folks.
can we rewind though? And go back a little bit.
No, that's
We can't do that?
No, we can't do
Oh no,
that.
I'm serious because they said Gibson said
Yeah.
made some really strong points, and I know I can rewind from my phone. That's
We'd
why I was
love
asking.
to see. This is awesome.
No, this was the live stream, I think.
Yeah, but the live stream is still on. But if we can't today, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now this is what we're stuck with.
Harry worked so
I know
hard to
Harry.
make
All right.
this
Well,
happen.
anyway, we came up right at the end of it. We heard he definitely said some good stuff. And we did hear that there was still some opposition. From the vote count, to me, it seemed close to even. I don't know about you. There were like 5 no's at the end.
The no's at the end were the roughies.
Yeah, they're all the
They're all sitting
Republicans.
together.
Yeah, all the no's at the end.
Segregated.
So, guys, we don't really know right now what the count is. We won't know till 4 o'clock. So,
I bet you Cody knows.
Cody was
is
probably up
tweeting.
there
He's listening
counting.
there. He's probably telling us in a couple minutes.
Yep.
All right. So I don't know what happened to Eve. I would love to talk to her about the Connecticut Cannabis Conference. Maybe somebody would like to text her. I'll text her.
Oh wait, here's the counter.
Oh, what's the counter say?
Let's see. D'Agostino didn't vote. It doesn't look like. Bonfara was a yes. Gibson was a yes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 yeses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So it looks like
no's.
8 yeses and 6 no's. Voting is still open. Let's go, Connecticut.
All right, 8 yeses and 6 no's. So it's still close, guys.
8.
Yeah, so if you know anybody on that committee, like Senator McCrory, you might want to send him a text or or an email and say vote yes. We'll make sure it gets done right. We'll support you and make sure it gets done right.
Yep, and we have our
there's
phone
Eve.
call.
Our phone caller came in.
Ah,
Yeah.
Right on time.
Hey.
Get some.
I got
Eve, get
jazz
some
music.
Theme music. Go Eve.
Hello.
What's your theme music? Go Eve.
Are
Yeah.
we on?
Did we lose her?
Oh,
Yep.
Eve.
She keeps hanging up on us.
Evie, Eve.
She's
Maybe
got
it's
bad
one of
ser-
those
It's one of
babies
them kids. They
hanging
keep
up.
hitting the
Yep.
phone.
So yeah, I was saying New Jersey is voting today
Mhm.
too, but they're voting for the full bill.
Yes.
Like this is
They
not a
will be
committee.
leg-
They
they will
will
be
either be legal or
legalizing-
not.
They are legalizing
No.
today, if not.
I spoke to some Jersey people up at Nican, and
Yep.
they said it is very, very close up there. They weren't even sure if they had the votes as of this weekend. So what
They
New
may.
Jersey does is very important because Connecticut might look at that. We have our phone caller in. Hello? Hello? I can't hear you.
Hello?
There we are.
Go team.
Hey, Eve.
Hi, on the phone we have
Hey,
Eve
Eva.
Santana.
Hi, Joe.
How are you, Ann? Eve?
I'm doing great. How
Good.
you doing?
We're all doing well, I think. We
Yep,
all
I'm
recovered
good.
from Nican.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Big weekend in Boston.
Yeah, it was. We all had a good time, I think. A lot of work done. A lot of networking done.
Definitely.
Yep. So we also have one coming up. We got a big weekend coming up in Connecticut in a couple months here. A month and a half, right?
Oh yeah, we're past our 60-day mark for the countdown.
Mm-hmm.
May 3rd and 4th in New Haven.
And that's at the Omni Hotel, right?
Yep, it'll be at the Omni Hotel. Super excited this year. It looks like we're going to be working to include a legal track where legal professionals, really anybody who's interested in the topic of discussion as it relates to cannabis law. But we're going to be giving lawyers an opportunity to earn continuing legal credit for, their career portfolios and such. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, great. And I'm
but even more excited that we could really spark the conversation about social justice and equity. A lot of people don't understand, the definition of those terms and how everybody is affected by that, not just, black and brown people nowadays, but we need to form alliances with even common white people and, people that want
that's
to
right.
tackle and spark this really awkward and uncomfortable conversation for people that are already making money in the industry.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I think there should be I think this year we'll probably have a large equity panel on there and probably some real good breakout sessions on equity. Because
Oh, definitely.
I think people need to understand what true equity really is. There's a lot of different versions of it out there. And, it really is about everybody. It's, everybody being
Absolutely
on the same level playing field and not about big money
and it's
anymore.
also, I think, respecting that, like, not everybody's going to be industrious. Not everybody wants to start a business or even work in the industry.
Right.
But the opportunity to purchase a product in the cannabis space that you're proud of, I think, is also a part of the equity conversation where, we have a lot of vertically integrated businesses that don't necessarily represent that craft cannabis. And that's another, part of the access. It's like, how can we give people that are in the craft cannabis space or family farms and cooperatives to get involved where licenses aren't only like if you have McDonald's money to start a business. That's also, I think, a part of the, importance of access to the industry. Commissioner of the Cannabis Control in Massachusetts, Shalene Title, mentioned that access to real estate is a big thing.
Yeah,
that makes people that are in that, big business circle, they already have the big boy tools, for lack of better terms. So really arming up people so that when they leave that conference in Connecticut, the people that they met, their alliances, they're strengthening their network, and they can really take action so that their goals are getting higher.
Yeah,
I have a drum. Dun, dun.
I really believe that this is the most opportune time in Connecticut for something like this to happen too, because they just held the vote today. We were watching it live on the air.
Oh yes.
It looks like initially the vote looks good that it'll pass out of committee. So we may be dealing with actually having an industry here in Connecticut that people can build, that we can build. And this could be the beginning of people actually going out there and starting to apply for these legal licenses that will start to become available in October. I mean, we're coming close.
Right.
So,
definitely.
Yeah, this could be the right time and to have lawyers on there. We'll do probably some educational panels, on how to get into the industry, how to start your own business, kind of stuff like we did last year. I think
Vendors.
Yep, CBD vendors. This year, I think we can sell CBD. We're good. So,
that was a big thing last year. Remember, we had to call it the morning of.
Yeah.
Right.
Letting people know, hey, like, we want to protect everybody involved at the conference.
Yeah.
But that's really exciting. We have a lot of CBD and hemp entrepreneurs that
Right.
That's another thing. They deserve a space at the table. You know, this is something that's not harming our communities, and we know that. But the powers that be, they make it seem like, you know, there's something wrong with the things that we know are healing communities and helping, you know, economies locally, creating jobs, investing into communities. So I think our conference is definitely going to serve as that platform to, you know, people last year showed up and thought that they had an idea, but they left with a completely different idea of what they were actually going to do, you know. So some people realized, hey, this is not feasible in Connecticut yet. They went another route, you know. So business, as you know, I'm sure all of us have experienced so far, is not just about the plant itself, but all of the, you know, administrative skills that we have. I know a woman who attended that. She was like, I only have experience, you know, on the school committee. But hey, like, we want to inspire those working moms and stay-at-home moms to come out, because they're definitely going to find something, whether it's a job or a product that they love.
Right.
You know, so it's great to be facilitating these conversations and just bringing great brands that we can trust to the forefront, you know, of people consciously spending their dollars in the industry.
Right.
Yeah, exactly right. I hope this year we have a nice hemp track too. I would like to, you know, something on hemp, because Connecticut, we still have farms here. Believe it or not, we still have farms here, and we have farmers who want to grow it.
Yep.
So maybe this could be a place for the farmers who want to grow hemp to come learn about the best way to go about it. Because there's going to be a whole process in licensing on that.
Yep.
You know, there's going to be a whole process for that. So hopefully it'd be a great opportunity for the whole industry here in Connecticut to join together, you know, as one. And of course, we'll do advocacy there, of course, as well.
Yeah. So the dates again,
100%.
Eve?
The dates are going to be Friday, May 3rd and Saturday, May 4th.
Ooh, we're doing a Friday and a Saturday.
Yeah.
And we're going to be going with a Friday. This gives some of the professional community that might not have otherwise been in town to, maybe if they can take a break, we're welcoming that. But, you know, so far we've heard people saying, I'm taking the day off. This is important. So we're going to hold them to that. Like, hey, you know, we're inviting the professional community to meet with our grassroots community to really spark conversations. And, you know, the conversations happen at the table, right? So one of my favorite parts of the conference is that we host a meal. You know, I think that people really get to break bread and let their hair down, and you get to see why people are involved, you know. So we're not just, you know, going for the money.
No.
But we want to make sure that people know why they want to get that money and why they want to pursue a business or a project in the industry. This is one of the times where we have an opportunity to really think outside of the box. And I heard a lot this weekend at NECAN in some of the program tracks where people are like, oh, it's practically impossible. But you know what? I started looking at people and I was like, let me hear you say, I am possible. Because language is important, you know. So if we continue to speak that it's impossible, it's going to be impossible. But you know what? I think that we are going to get brilliant minds together. We're going to get people really sparking conversations about problems that exist, but not just the rah-rah about the problem. Because, yes, justice, action, we want all of that. But how are we going to go about it is what we need to be talking about.
Yes, that's the most important thing.
I'm excited to, you know, bring brilliant minds together, people that are going to be like, wow, I never would have imagined, that are just stepping foot and joining our community. Because believe it or not, stepping foot into a networking place as it relates to the cannabis conversation is getting into the industry.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to do your research first.
That's right. That's right. And that's how we all started, right?
Yep.
This is how we all started. We're doing this because we know how we all got started. And that's exactly right. I think we all did get started kind of the same way. You know, stepping into a networking or an activist group or something educational. Just getting involved, and then just the path, we just followed the path from there. You know, and use our strengths that we had from our previous lives, whatever they were, and contributed that to the cannabis industry. So
one thing I loved about our conference last year was the opportunity that people had to engage with industry leaders and really get to ask questions and get guidance. And is that an element we're going to have again this year?
Definitely. And then we're taking it even further where we're asking community partners that are going to give feedback. We want to create like a pool, not well, pool. I'm like thinking about swimming because I want summer to come already. But we're going to create a pool of leaders that are going to become mentors to people that are going to move forward with their business plans. You know, so again, supporting people that want to expand their network, but at the same time tapping into a relationship that they, as they grow their idea or start to execute it, forming alliances so that these business leaders, again, are not just a one and done, but are a part of the community and a part of the discussion and the progress of these business that sparked right there at our conference.
Right.
So
very, very
I'm
cool.
excited definitely to continue to inspire that entrepreneurial spirit. And in addition to that pitch feedback and mentorship program, we're going to really be promoting to college students. You know, in the New England community, there are so many universities, so many students that are not sure, well, how do I get into the industry? You know, in the safety gates of the universities, they're being prepared to be managers of, you know, said track that they're studying. But again, we have an opportunity to inspire the collegiate community and academia, even folks that are in their, you know, third and fourth degrees, to come and share their brilliance and contribute to the solutions that we need. So inspiring that collegiate community to come out, explore, see if there's internship opportunities, see how they could apply their marketing skills, whether I'm an event planner, so event planners are constantly reaching out like, hey, how can I get into the industry? And I'm like, hey, I would love to help you spark an event in your community. And there it goes. So really just instead of encouraging people to get a job, I'm really hoping that, you know, even if it's just a handful of people, that folks are encouraged and excited to start a business and empower, you know, other folks by creating sustainable employment. So a lot of different layers. And Kebra, who's on our team too, she's a medical professional.
That's it.
I think that it's about time that we start holding medical professionals to earn their continuing medical credits on the endocannabinoid system and, you know, starting ethical medical practices that give people more access to this.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep. And we got to wrap it up, Eve. I just got the 2-minute warning from our producer. How can we get in touch with the Connecticut Cannabis Expo? Where's
buy
the
tickets?
Website, buy tickets?
Yep. So we're going to be launching the platform to buy tickets first week of April. If anybody's interested in participating in the educational program, we're going to, you know, our leader on the team, Joe LaChance, please get in touch with him.
There
and
you
then
go.
Karen Cole, who's on our team, she's going to be
getting
people involved with showcasing their products and activating their brands.
Nice.
All right. Very, very good.
For now, if you go to highbeautiful.com, we have information, and Joe's contact information is on there.
Yeah.
Terry's contact information is on there, so you can definitely learn more at highbeautiful.com.
All right. Excellent.
Yes.
We're looking
and that's
forward.
High, like
H-I-G-H. Yep.
Beautiful.
All right, Eve.
But thank you so much for having me on the show today. I'm definitely looking forward to more contributions, working together, and, you know, more forward movements.
And we'll have you
and
on
thank you
before
for
the
calling.
conference for sure.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you for calling.
All right, Eve. Take care
My
now.
pleasure.
Bye.
Thanks for the support. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Okay, real quick, since we got to get off the air. This Friday night, something going on in the Grove in Milford. Can it create a sign? This would be very cool.
Sign, yes, sir.
At the Grove in Milford.
Yep, with
6
Go-Go
o'clock.
Joe's. Yep, 6 o'clock.
Go-Go Joe's Coffee will be there. And then on Saturday, Kebra, you're speaking at Southern Connecticut at 1 o'clock. It is, what is it for?
The Urban League Young
Professionals.
Yeah.
Young Professionals.
Urban League Young Professionals.
I went through this last time.
I know, and I forgot it. And then on the April 3rd, the Connecticut Medical Marijuana Discussion Group, and
Down
that'll be
at
also
the
at the Grove as well, and that's at
good people down
7
there.
o'clock. So, Kebra, when's Canna Health open this week?
Thursday and Saturday.
Thursday and Saturday, so at 2 o'clock to 6 on Thursday and 10 to 2 on Saturday?
Yes.
All right, and I'll be there on Thursday because I need to renew my medical recommendations.
Well, we'll love to see you.
All right.
Have a great
All right,
day,
everyone.
guys.
We'll
Stay
see y'all
happy,
next
healthy,
week.
and high.
Remember, tell your legislators, vote yes. All right, Harry, we're going to let you get on and gloat. Gloat.
A lot of rhymes that I never wrote. A lot of dreams that I never lived. But if I think about it, then I mean I really did. Just not yet. I used to wish that I was here now. Smooth sailing on my own boat. I'm about to jump up on another plane. Right before I take another toke. It's all love. If you here, you done been through it. It's your business if you into it. If it ain't mine, I ain't into it. So I don't care what you meddling. You can say what you peddling, cause niggas ain't easily influenced. I'm about to take another long drive, cause it helped me get a clear mind. So while you staring at your watch, I'll be looking at the sun. Yeah, I'm moving on real. I used to wish that I was here now. Smooth sailing on my own boat. About to jump up on another plane. Right before I take another toke. I used to wish that I was here now. Smooth sailing on my own boat. About to jump up on another plane. Right before I take another toke. I used to wish that I was here now. Smooth sailing on my own boat. About to jump up on another plane. Right before I take another toke. I used to wish that I was here now. Smooth sailing on my own boat. About to jump up on another plane. Right before I take another toke. I always knew that I'd be here now. Standing on his own too. Every move I make is real humble. That's exactly what a man do. You playing games and you only get one turn.